Hello everyone, thank you for joining, thank you for clicking on this. Today we will learn how to make falling leaves effects. This will be part of the stream. How to navigate this, basically there's the timestamps. You will see when I'm learning, when there's failures, or what to skip and what not to skip. Enjoy, we will start immediately. Alright, so let's begin. Here's how the effect will look like. It will be like leaves like this. And yeah, perfect. So in the project here, we're told to click on the tree or one of those leaves, basically. And this is the project that is provided to us from Mad VFX. If I go to this icon, which shows the texture itself, you will search for it. We double click on the texture. Or this is where, what is this? Why is it opening the material instance? Did I click on the wrong thing? No. Okay, so it just shows it around the sphere. Okay, that's kind of smart. That's kind of cool. I didn't know about that. The Unreal actually does this. That's not so bad. Okay, and now we will learn some tricks on like what the heck is albedo, what the heck is normal, what the heck is QRT, you know, all those lovely stuff here that are, for beginners at least, they're kind of complex to understand. But yeah, we'll go just through it in a bit. Okay, see you later. So we learned a little bit about like what the textures here that we're gonna use. So as we can see, we have the albedo. I double clicked on that. Albedo is just basically the color of the texture that is being used. And we see here, it's not showing that, but yeah, basically it's using the color of the leaves, which are green, right? And we have RGB, red, green, and blue, and each of them, of course, you know, they store different values, right? So for example, the blue stores the blue, I guess. Green stores the green, okay. But the red here stores... Okay, that is weird because he's getting different results. Oh, or did I click on something else, honestly? I'm just getting, trying to get used to this. Yeah, here we go. So that thing here, the what is it called? The GRP, the ORT. Okay, I don't even know what an ORT is, right? So I'm probably gonna check the you know, check what it is. But yeah, as you can see here with the ORT, we have different levels stored in the textures. The red being the actual mask that is cutting the leaves, which is the alpha. Yeah, and we're gonna use this texture in combination with this texture to make our leaves. You know, they will probably be on planes and they will, you know, rotate and do other kind of cool stuff. I'll go back to the course. I just want to explain this to you and to myself. I'll be right back. We will export those textures, basically. So we'll go here back to the Unreal project. We will actually find that and then right click on it and then export it. So where is the export option? Let's see, save, delete, blah 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 blah, create material, find, blah, texture, create texture array, create volume, re-import new file, edit and rename, batch name, duplicate, save, asset actions, export. Here it is. Asset actions, export. Spot of learning that you're just gonna fail a couple of times. All right, just save it somewhere where you're comfortable. I will find our Mad VFX project here. I'll be right back. I just saved the texture. I exported it. I'll go to Blender, and in Blender there should be an add-on, a plugin. If you press F4, then you go to Preference, CEST, and you go to add-on and you check for an add-on called import image something. I don't have that here. Let's check image. And what else can we do? What else can we do here? In extensions, maybe. Let's go image. Export Adobe After Effects projection node, a camera plane, image to material. Maybe it's that one, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, I'll check in the video really quick. I'll be right. Just realized that they're using an older version than mine. They're using 4.1. That could be, it could be that they, the add-on is called import-export, image as planes, but we might already have that. So let's just check it. We're gonna go to import. No, we don't. Okay, I'm gonna check online for a solution here. We'll be right back with. So 4.1 and above, sorry, 4.2, Blender 4.2 and above has this feature already built in. So basically, you know, your usual Shift A, basically, where you're adding the meshes or whatever, you make Shift A and then you go to image and you go for mesh plane, right? And then it starts asking you, all right, so where's that thing? Where is it at? And we made folder here with imports and texture, and this will be our thing. We will not see anything because we're not in the shading view right now. We are in the non-shading view, so the viewport solid, whatever it's called. And so if we switch to that one, which will take a while for some reason, it won't show us anything. Let me, oh, here we go. We're here. So basically what we want to do, or what we're told to do in the course is, wait a second, it's lagging a little bit. Okay, so we want to make a mesh that will cut this part out. All right, so this is what we're told to do. So I'll go back and check now on the course. I'll be right back with you guys. Let's start cutting. So press the edit, tab. Go to edit mode. You could see which mode you're in here. I have it to tap, so I just press tap and go there. Now we need to find the knife tool. The knife tool is here. And basically, we need to deselect everything. Let's go to verses, actually. Why is everything so yellow? Let's click away here with the knife tool again, back in. All right, so let's choose one of these, right? I kind of want to include stuff that are cut a little bit, which would make sense to why they would fall, you know? So yeah, let's start cutting. We will do clicky, click, 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 click. All right, let's make a leaf out of this. So you click, right? You make a couple of those. You choose the one that you like. I'm choosing these that are already cut inside. Probably gonna have a bit more geometry, but I'm not caring so much. I think it's enter. Cool, it is enter. Perfect. Let's choose another leaf. Maybe one that is not as cut. So let's go with this one. That's the cool thing about courses, man. Like, you can choose what you want to learn. Don't always follow the instructor. Go with whatever you want to do. And that is fine. If it doesn't look good, you know what? You failed and you learned something new. That is proper too, you know? So yeah, just enjoy yourself and make new things, basically. All right, let's press enter on this too. All right, just gonna start the buffer here. And yes, what is next? Let's go and cut the next thing. So we made two here. Let's choose normal leaf here. Now, what is normal? We're gonna go with this one. That is not, you know, that is not cut or eaten or whatever you want to call it. We're just gonna cut it like this. And here we go. Enter. And so far, so good. Maybe a smaller one. Maybe just this one, maybe. Or this one. I like this one too. So we're gonna cut this one too. And let's see what we can do with this. Or how to export this. But I will try to guess. And that's a good trick too when you're following a course, is try to guess what the next step is, because once you try that, and even if you fail, it's fine. You know, you're not losing anything. You are learning a new thing, like we said before. Okay, so let's try to guess what the next steps are. Here we will probably need to choose those and kind of separate them, if I'm not mistaken. So if I'm mistaken, it's fine too. You know what? We're just going to be mistaken for a while. All right, so I chose that one out. And if I click P, it will tell me separate by selection or by material or by loose parts. I'll go with by selection. And what that does is right now we have these as planes, right, as their own meshes. So what we'll do next is separate them by loose parts. So go Tab, P by loose parts, and now we actually have each one individually, right? And we'll probably need this for the export, but there's only one way to see. That what was my guess. If that was not correct, we will just learn a new thing, and there's no shame in that. Okay, so let's find out, I guess. Let's go back to the course. Okay, so basically we just learned that, I mean, separation is so far seems to be fine. That is the way to go. So we're just gonna put this away here. And what we need to do now is triangulate, or basically make it easier to triangulate. Now, I've added a lot of points. I added a lot of vertices. You can't see them, but like this is a lot of vertices. Let's see what we can do about that. I'm going to show you the difference. So basically, if I go with this one and I go triangulate as a modifier, because engines do this automatically, or at least that's what we learned that they do. If I press Ctrl A here and I apply that, go to the edit mode, this might be too close, right? It will create some artifacts or something. So what we need to do is give it guidance. And by that, I mean basically do this. Wait, let's get the triangulate out by Control-Zing it out. All right, so if I choose those two here, and I do J, it should connect the points, right? So J like Jack, and yeah, we see it. We're giving it guidance to how we want it to triangulate, if it's gonna triangulate. So we're just picking two vertices, and we're giving it the go, basically. Maybe here too. Invalid selection order, all right, Blender. Yeah, like we connect it like this, maybe. Let's see how it does, if it does a better job or not. Let's just keep it as a guidance, basically. I need to sneeze so badly. Let's go back again. I don't know why it's showing me this thing. All right, let's go back to it. We're gonna add triangulate again. And this time maybe add the wireframe view. How did I do that usually? Was it this one? Yeah. So what do we have in here? So it's on 4. What does that mean? Minimum vertices. Yeah, 4 is quad, probably. I think it is all right, but these are too close, I think, still. Otherwise, let's see what we can do better. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an angle on here. So let's try to fix that. These gonna be a nightmare, these ones here. Honestly, now that I look about it, it's probably gonna be cut by the alpha. So what we'll do is something a bit different. I'll Control-Z everything with that in mind, because we learned a couple of tricks, right? Wait, how to go back? Yeah. I'll bring in the shader back, or whatever it's called, the texture, and we'll start cutting again. I know it's boring, but basically what we will do here is go over it again. And that is by going by the knife tool here and keeping that in mind that we need quads. I think that will help a little bit. And we'll probably not include this part here, right? So we will not include the origin. So here we go. Let's do that quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 8. We'll probably need 9 and 10. Okay, so just so we are able to make a quad out of this, and I'll kind of keep the trust that this will be cut using the alpha, right? So let's do it again. Boom. Here we go. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 is fine. Oh, but 9 is not. Or am I getting this wrong? All right, maybe I'm getting this wrong because I can connect. That's one basically, right? And the other one is here. 9 is fine, actually. Yeah, we can dissolve the vertice anytime we want. That is not a big of a deal. Let's get a rounded one here. I like this one too. So let's get it. You don't have to count almost. You just have to keep in mind, you know, where you're connecting the points. So for example, now I'm imagining a line connecting here. Those are 4. and so on. All right, so we just want to avoid any weirdness. I wonder why this one is so square. Oh, it is cut. I like this one too. Should I take that one? Yeah, let's go take that one too. I'm probably gonna make a variation between the textures. I mean, maybe there will be a texture index or of some sort or something. So we're gonna go with that. So right now, like I said, I'm imagining a line connecting between those two. Same here, right? And let's connect it. Enter. What else? What else? What else? Where else? Where else? Where else? Where else? Where else? I like this. I mean, let's go with what we have right now. So we'll do the same thing. If I press 3, you know, if I go back to the selection tool and press, so 1 will make me, it will allow me to pick vertices, 2 will allow me to pick edges, 3 will allow me to pick faces, right? This is how it works in Blender. You can use any software that you want, and you probably get the same result. Okay, so, excuse me there. I picked 3 of the selections here. P for separation, by selection, and now again we will just put that thing away and go with these and do tab for edit mode, P, and by loose parts, and this means, you know, now we can move these. All right, let's see. So we will connect the dots now, and so we'll do that. Tab 1 for vertices. So here you go. So this one I'll remove now with X and dissolve vertices. Now it's gone, and we'll connect those two, J. Those two, J, quads are easier to triangulate, and now we'll see, we'll see why, because if I add a triangulate here, and I apply it, you'll see a very nice equal distribution of those triangles, basically. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. We're gonna go to the next one. We'll go, we're gonna connect the dots, right? So 1, just adding that 1 layer of quality to it wouldn't hurt. And here we go again. These two are gonna be jade, basically joined. It's an easier way to keep in mind what J as a shortcut is. This one shift this one, J, and this one shift this one and J. All right, so now we have those 4 leaves, basically. We're gonna put them right in the middle for easier export of the origin point. And we're gonna put that one also in the middle. And I wouldn't care so much about the rotation right now. And we'll go back to the course, basically, and look for what the next steps are. We're probably gonna have to export them. And we'll see how that's done properly. Oh, I triangulated that one. That's fine. Should be fine. I mean, if you want to remove that, so basically you go tab 2 and click on them, shift and dissolve edges. This should get rid of them, right? So perfect. We got that. I'll be right back with you guys, trying to guess what the next steps are. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right. So we're back at it. So what we'll do is start exporting. What I like to do for Unreal, at least, is just, even though I put the pivot in the middle, I'll just also put it right into the middle of the world. Now, that might be not necessary. I don't know yet. I just don't like to risk it. So maybe it's just a bad habit. So Control A will basically freeze our location, rotation, and scale. You can do each one individually, right? But what you could also do is you press Control A and you go to location, rotation, scale. So it will freeze those or apply them in Blender language. So we'll apply them. We'll go with Q. Q means shortcuts that you already set. But what you could do is export FBX, right click on that, add it to quick favorites. This will assign it to the Q button. That's what I did. So I have it on the Q button. It's probably, yeah, it's this one, and I have this one too. So we also have Unity export. I followed that one last time. It worked pretty nicely. If you don't, you don't want to do that, we go with like, you can look it up actually, like get a preset for Unreal. But this one worked for me last time, so I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah, we have the exports from Mad VFX. I will go with the Blender exports here. We will go with a new folder actually. Let's call that one leaves. All right, so we have the leaves here. Let's call it VFX M for meshes leaves 01. All right, so that's our first one. Let's go back to the Unity export. It worked last time, I think. If it didn't work, we have to check it again. It's not a problem to fail. So Control A again, freeze your locations, export, and get your leaves too. All right, here we go, the second leaves. Now, some pros will look at this and be like, what the hell are you doing? You can patch export. I know. I don't want to do that yet. I don't know. I'm not so confident in it. I know it's not a problem to fail, but damn it, I want this to work. So, if you know how to make it work, let me know in the comments if you're watching this as a record. Okay, we're gonna export leaves 3. Perfect. Do the next one, and here we go. We're gonna fail miserably, I feel, because we picked the ones that have a hole inside. But damn it, do I want to fail with this because I really want to learn how to get around it. All right, so 04, boom, done. We exported all the leaves. That is good, pretty good. Let's actually save the file, Control S, and we will save as. We will go with what is it called? In the documents, we have exports, and now we will add another file. I mean, it's probably going to be in Blender here. We're just going to call the Blender file leaves. That's fine. Save as. Perfect. And now we're going to go back in Unreal. Actually, we'll go back to the tutorial. Just going to see what the next steps are. I'll be right back. Let's import the stuff. One of the main things we need to do is drag and drop them, right? So we have environment effects. We have our VFX folder. And we have our fire motes and vapor. We probably have stuff from them already. Yep, we do. So let's go back to the content, general one. And I don't remember. I think we created that one. Yep. Okay, so we're just gonna create a leaves here. Leaves. All right, and I'll start with an empty. Very empty folder here because I don't like to create folder just yet. I just like to create the folders once I have 1 or 2 or 3 or more stuff around here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start to import the stuff that we just basically saved. Which we have our documents, then we have our Mad VFX exports and our Blender exports basically. And we will, here it is, I'm just going to show it to you. We're going to pick those, drag and drop them here, and going to put this away. Oops, nope, going to just put it here, a little bit here, maybe. Yeah, here, it's fine. And let's make this a little smaller. It's too big for no reason. One thing we need to look at is that it shouldn't make materials, but you know what, I'm just going to import it. And we're gonna see that it's creating a material. It's creating a texture for them too. What is it? Are you sure you want to override? Yes. Apply to all. It's creating the materials over and over and over again. And so we're just gonna pick this and delete it. Yes. And yeah. So we're gonna double click on one of the leaves. One of the main things that we want to do, zoom in and look at it from above. Go to our albedo texture, click on this one. I think it's this one anyway, this one that we picked. Where to find, I mean, actually we can find it here, right? If we find it here, we're selecting it in engine, meaning if I go now to the mesh itself and I click this one, right? It should take it. No. Oh, actually we need the material itself. All right. So let's get the material itself. Let's click on this one and apply it. And why is it not working? Oh yeah, here it is. Hey, it's applied it. And now we'll save it and check if the other textures also work with it. Oh damn, it's even cutting it off. You see that? The reason this worked, and they explain it in the course as well, is because we have had it cut off the original plane, or from a plane, right? And this had copied the UV ID, or the UV location, basically. Like if it's a map, it had copied the location of where those leaves had been cut off. And now we have that saved. We don't have to adjust anything. That is the benefit of using this workflow. And that is amazing. So what we'll do next is apply it to all the other meshes, basically. So let's go back to here, find our mesh. Wait, how can I find the mesh again? I should just find it over here, VFX. And leaves. I'm not sure if this is how you write the multiple leaves. Is this how you write leaves with a V, right? Let's double click on this one again. And find. All right, so we're going to double click on all of them instead of coming back and forth, back and forth. We'll find the material again. Boom. Okay, now we have it selected. I will apply it on this one too. And we'll see that it will apply immediately with the cuts. This is beautiful. All right, next one, we'll zoom in. That's the smaller one that we know. We will click on this one and it should take the shape. That's magic, guys. That is magic. All right, so next one as well. So now we have 4 leaves and I know we should be able to randomize between the 3. So boom, click. Now we have 4 meshes. And they all have their own like leaf cut. Let's save all of it. And yes, what we'll do now is probably we'll start creating the Niagara system. So I will prepare for that. I will go back to environment effects, VFX, leaves, right click, and Niagara system. And let's see which one would fit here best. We're guessing now, right? So we're guessing the next steps. This is always very helpful while following a course. I'm thinking something like a fountain, but I mean a fountain, if you think about it, without the gravity, it becomes like a floating thing, hanging particulates. What is this about? I'm just gotta check it out. New Niagara system. All right, so what does it do? What is this thing? That is probably a good base to start from, right? I'm just gonna go put this here. And why does Epic always like to put their headquarters in your face? Yeah, like with more lifetime, with more force and like turbulence, I could see that working as a good base. Now that's my guess. I'll place my guess, right? And watch the course and we'll go from there. I'll be right back, guys. And you just go to the bathroom. So basically, we'll start with a Niagara system, like we said, like a template. But what we don't want is, I'm gonna show you. So there is already like a blowing effect already, a blowing particles, and this is just I'm trying to narrate what's happening in the course for myself. So a blowing particle will basically give us a pretty good system. I'm gonna show it to you here. For the tree leaves, basically. We see like it already is giving us almost of a perfect system for this. We see the leaves blowing, right? They are spinning even. The problem about if we start with this, and this is what is explained to us in the course, is, you know, if you're a beginner and you don't understand what these are, what is bringing all of those different modules here to create this effect, you're learning nothing. And in the industry, not a lot of beginners start with Unreal and they find work with Unreal. Most people just work with the custom engine from the different studios that they're working with, right? So what you need to do is to learn the craft and not just go with the easy way, right? So let's start with a system. I chose the template that, you know, does this, right? So I think that's a good start. He started with the fountain. I guess we're gonna meet in the middle. So let's see. Well, let's break it down here, right? So we have our spawners, we have our updates, we have our spawn rate. So here it's spawning 50 particles, right? We have our shape location. It's a box plane. That is kind of similar to what we did with the motes in here, which are emitting. Are they not? Did it not save? Or what happened here? I just need to... Okay, I just basically had to re-import this. I'm going to just press G again. Here's our motes. And we actually used the box for this. So I think I'm going to stay with that. But what I'll do just for a start is to make that box super small. Maybe even go with 222. But is it actually doing that? Let's see. Is it actually scaling it down? That is what I'm not sure about. All right, so let's go take a sphere here and make it a 2. And so what the sphere does, it's spawning them in a sphere. I like Unity because you were able to like see the sphere in real time, right? This now is basically smoke. But yeah, let's go with like 10. So there is some movement. I like this. Yeah, I pretty much like this as a start. How do I make sure that this is spawning infinitely? Infinite, we can do loop duration to maybe, let's go with something crazy like 30. So this will loop for 30 seconds. All right, so initialize particle, we have a lifetime minimum of 5 and a lifetime maximum of 8 seconds. We can, let's see, if a leaf is falling, it will take 5 to 8 seconds to fall down. Pretty much realistic, I would say. What else do we have here? Particle state, wind force. That is, I think, something that is needed. So what if this was a 10? We see it going upwards, right? Okay, we don't want it to go up, so that will be on 0. We want to go... Okay, so what is up and down with this view? We have the Z, the Y, and the X, right? So right now it's going side to side. And here's where the headquarters is actually helpful to see what is going on. Okay, so we see that it's actually falling down. So is there gravity? There's aerodynamic drag, which is interesting. I don't know what it does, but we see that it's using it here. All right, so we're gonna go with something crazy with the wind force just to understand a little bit. And now I'm going super off the script from the course. I'm going on my own learning journey. That is beautiful on its own. So I'm just gonna take out dynamic aerodynamic drag, see what happens. All right, so we already are seeing that it's staying in place. So what we'll do is we see that actually it's getting an error. It's saying particle update wind force error. The module has unmet dependencies. So aerodynamic drag is dependent, or wind force is dependent on aerodynamic drag. So what we'll see here is maybe go with 0.1 as a minimum and a maximum of 0.2. I just want to see normal wind, just it blowing on one side, basically. It's still a lot. Still going left and right like a C. I don't want to have a C, right? So aerodynamic, let's take this out. Lift contribution, aerodynamic lift. Let's do a 0. Let's just make it simple. I just want wind. That's all what I want. I don't want to have weird wind. I don't want to have this. So... all right, rotation strength, 0. Let's see what's going to happen now. Is it maybe other forces? No, it's all with the wind here. Let's see, maybe something in the wind here that we're... wind speed scale, 10. Now it should actually blow. All right, now it's blowing too much. But there's a lot of noise that is happening. Where is that noise coming from? All right, turbulence. Here we are. All right, so we're gonna put those values back to where they were, 1.5. Let's get a drag. Let's get like a proper drag here. All right, so with the turbulence, we see it's up to 4. If we increase that, it's gonna be crazy turbulent, right? So what we'll need is just like a value of 1. Something that is not too much. This is way too less. But actually that might be from the wind speed. So let's go with a 5 here as a scale. And now we see it is actually blowing. That's pretty good. All right, so let's get a random value on the wind speed. So it's giving it that, you know, the realistic noisy wind, so something between 2 and 5. So sometimes it's blowing the leaves super fast, sometimes it's blowing them very slow, depending on the leaf, of course. Some leaves have holes, others are complete, right? So they will react differently. I still think 5 is too much, so what we'll do is go 3 and a 1 in terms of wind speed, right? What we'll do is go to the shape location here, get that sphere to go like 20 in size. So now the emitter is emitting from a bigger sphere. So if it was like this, and now it's emitting as this. And what else can we do? What else can we do, Jack? Let's go back to the turbulence. I'm not so happy with the turbulence. And we probably need gravity, actually. So let's get the gravity here done. Let's get it here first. And now we see that they're dropping quite fast, right? Oof, this has no end, dude. Hello, gold bytes. Nice to have you here. Yeah, so now they're dropping super quickly. I don't like that, although it's like the normal gravity value, right? So what we'll do is a random, because some leaves will drop much quicker if you think about it. Some leaves, like I said, they're complete, and so they will fly. They have aerodynamic to them, and some they have holes. They will fall like an airplane without a wing, right? So they will just go, they will spiral like this and go down. So let's go with a random range value. What is it? Minus 9.8, and I will go with a -1 on some of those, simulating the aerodynamic feeling. Hopefully, oh, wait. Was it minus 980? Like this? Yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's pretty nice. All right, so what we'll do is a minus, maybe a -500, just to simulate more gravity. That's too much. All right, let's go with a -200 maybe. Let's see what's gonna happen. I'm just imagining those as leaves, right? So instead of just imagining them, let's actually add the sprite or the meshes in this sense. So we'll add the mesh renderer. All right, now we see we're gonna get those weird looking thingies, right? That will start as white because we have a scale color. If I remove that one, it will start actually as the gizmos. So, and that's just it's not an error or anything. It's just because we have not assigned any meshes yet, right? So we need to assign the meshes in here. And one way to do it, of course, is to go to any of the meshes that we have here, look for them, and this will already select it for us, as you see here. And I wouldn't go for one with a hole right now, just for the visual appealing. I'll go with something simple without a hole. Maybe we'll go with this one. So click on that one, right? Now we have it picked, and let's actually replace it in... Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's replace it here with this button. Boom. Now we should have leaves. Let's disable the sprite renderer. And as you can see, we're actually getting the leaves in here. Now, one thing you might ask me is, how do I get more meshes? You click on this plus, and let's get those meshes. For example, this one. Actually, we don't really need to do that again. We're just gonna drag, drop, drag, and drop, and drag and drop one more time. There we go. Now the problem is it would not select them randomly. Why? Because these have their own index. This has index 1. This has index 2. This has index 3. So we need some type of randomization from those indexes. I know how to do this in Unity. I am not aware of how to do it in Unreal. That said, we are going to eventually learn it somewhere or another, even if they don't show it to us in the course. It should be already basically knowing where those indexes are. I'm just checking if there is an option here. It's probably, I'm just remembering, by the way, I should just put this here. I remember there was something in the initialize particle. And position mode, sprite attribute, sprite size, meshes attributes, mesh scale mode. Random uniform. All right, let's see what it's gonna do now. It's picking between, is it 0 and a 1? All right, so let's go 0 and a 4. Oh, this is the actual scale. All right, so we're not doing much here other than randomizing the actual scale from these. So it's worth a try. Mesh renderer array visibility unset. Let's put random. And is that the one that is gonna change our meshes? Let's see. No, array is not the one that's gonna change our meshes. That's fine. We're gonna keep trying. Ribbon attributes, ribbon width mode, ribbon. Nah, it's probably not a ribbon. Spread attributes. If anybody knows how to switch the meshes, I'll be thankful. But that's something we could actually explore later. Enable material override, override material, source mode, locked access, enable mesh flipbook. Is that the one? Enabling the mesh flipbook option will replace all meshes currently selected for this renderer. Continue. No, don't continue. Enable mesh flipbook, default. Velocity, camera position, camera plane. Sorting mode, visibility, enable blah blah blah, render visibility, rendering, sub UV binding, scalability. All right, so here it should be something. Mesh index binding. All right, loop count. Okay, so there's something called mesh index. Now, how can we change that mesh index? It's a good question. Someone says, hey, Jack, hope you're doing well. I do 3D Maya Max to Unreal. I'm just going to stop. We found it, guys, thanks to Beyond FX. Pretty cool website. If you want to, check them out, do actually check them out. Yes, so basically what we do is this. We'll take that parameter, set it in initialize particle, if I'm not mistaken. Or in here in particle spawn, maybe. All right, so we're gonna add a plus, add a new, okay, so attribute, blah, 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 no, not here, and update attributes, alert particle attributes, apply, okay, not that one then. All right, is it a parameter? Is this a parameter or an attribute? Just gonna check on the video real quick, because I forgot already. In set parameter, okay, before, step 4, in particle spawn, click plus sign and scroll down to set new or existing parameter. All right, so it's a parameter. Damn, it's hard to go between Unity and Unreal. So, particle spawn. We have in particle spawn, we say add parameter. Okay, back to it here. Particle sign. Okay, it is in particle spawn. Sign. Scroll down to bottom. Add or set new or new existing parameter. So it's set new or existing parameter. Set parameter. Set new or existing parameter directly. That is the one. Sorry. Okay, in here, to add a parameter, use the add button in the header. Okay, so why do you make it so complicated? Okay, we're gonna go back to the video. So we're gonna add and set a new parameter, and then yeah, it's right there, dude. Okay, we're gonna do what from all those options? We're gonna look for mesh index. All right, so here it is, mesh index. Boom. All right, finally. And now we're gonna do a random value. Finally. And we're gonna go between 0 and how many meshes do we have? 4, 3. Okay, so 0 being the first one. Look how beautiful this is. I think it's changing between all of them. Yeah, I see 3 of them, definitely. Just gotta check on the IDs of those. We have 0, 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, so what we'll do is in initialize particle, we're gonna go between a uniform scale of 0.2 and 0.5 for easier selection here. Okay, some pros will criticize my usage here of the leaves with holes. I will be fine with that. I want to learn, I want to test things around. let's see. So yeah, we got that. Now we should pretty much find a way to spawn less and to make them rotate. But the cool thing is we have this as a reference. And if we forgot what this is the blowing template. And we can use the actual elements in here to study it and to, and try to understand at least what is in this. We have a new wind force like we do with the other ones. We have the aerodynamic drag. We have that one too. Gravity force. We had randomization of this one. Particle state done. It kills them when lifetime has what? When lifetime has elapsed. Okay, so it kills them. They die. They don't exist anymore. Okay. Gravity force, we do have that. Collision, we don't have that. That sounds interesting. We could experiment with that later. Solve force and velocity, that is to complete all this velocity basically. Scale sprite size, we could do that. Align sprite to mesh orientation. That's interesting. What does that do anyway? So there's like two ways to learn, right? Like do it on your own or backward engineer stuff. Like this is basically backward engineering. Align particles with collision plane. What is making them spin me right? What are making them spin so much? Align particles with collision plane. It's probably this one, right? These two are. Yeah, fuck it. Without wind. Yeah, it was one of those. But since it's not a sprite that we're using, we're gonna have to do something with the rotation in a lifetime, actually. Okay, this is exciting, and as everything that makes me exciting, I need to go to the bathroom. All right, be right back. Okay, back to it. Let's get some rotation in here. First of all, I would really like it if this just chills a little bit. No aerodynamic, no wind, no gravity, nothing. Literally just nothing. I just want it to be a simple emitter for now to be able to, play around with the settings here. Let's make this a little bigger so we see more stuff. Okay, cool. Now, first thing first. I learned, thanks to Mad VFX, MESH, mesh rotation. Look at that. Mesh rotation. What do we have here? Oh my god, rotation. Okay. We have rotation force. We need that. We have rotation. What else is this? Mesh rotation force. This is forces. Where else is there mesh rotation? Rotation. Calculate meshes and rotation initial volume. Blah, blah, blah. Add or rotation velocity. All right. Let's go with the rotation force. And we have an error here, as you can see. The cool thing is that Unreal will fix it for us if we click on fix the issue, but it's better to read. The following path dependency is not met. Solve, force, and velocity. So it needs that module. Solve, force, and velocity. Oh, I wrote it wrong. Solve, force, and okay, why is it not available? All right, we're gonna fix the issue. Apply initial forces, and then we delete that. We'll go apply. Why did we delete it? Because we need to be able to fix this on our own. Perfect. I showed you both ways, right? So let's go and rotate that thing. One, it will rotate. One, it will rotate. One, it will rotate. That's basically what we want. Now, random. And why do we need random? I wish I could do like even random by index, meaning like it would, I think there is a way to do that, but I'm not that advanced yet. Meaning when it is spawning a mesh with a hole, it will rotate faster. And if it's not, it will rotate less. So this is a little bit of what I'm looking for. I mean, you probably don't need all of them to be rotating. So I don't want that axis, I want that axis. And not this axis either, the next one. This is cool too. Let's try both of them. Okay, this is very it's just the beginning now. So let's get the rate down because no tree will lose so many leaves all at once, right? So what we'll do is a random of a range between two values, and it's gonna be 1 leaf to 2 leaves maximum. That is a bit more realistic. Now let's apply our forces again. Wind force, aerodynamic drag, and our gravity. Go back to the headquarters, and let's look at it from afar. Whoa. Here we go. This looks fine for me. I like how some of them are spinning too much. Some of them are not. I need more drag on some of them, so I'm gonna go a bit crazy with the drag here. Yeah, I love it. I really like this. I'm gonna go crazy with the drag, I think. That's fine. Now, question. Why am I seeing blue spots here on that thing? Is that normal? What is happening? So, back to gray. And F that thing. It's probably too much wind too. Oh, we still have those? Or what is the deal? Do we still have those weird gizmo things? Or am I just seeing them as a display here? I really don't know. So back to basically, hey, Caldia VFX, nice to have you here. Let me have you in the comments. Let me know who you are and what do you do. Probably something with VFX, but nice to have you here. All right, so spinning. They are actually spinning. That is what we wanted, correct? I don't like that they're spinning in that fashion. Let me see what we can do. I will put a lot of them again, just for the giggles. Let's do 20. Now, I do not understand why I'm seeing this weird... Alright, so I'm gonna go with the size a bit too big here. Is this like part of Unreal way to show you where the particles are, maybe? I really don't know, so we have to see. 0.5. Okay. Now, next thing to do is to put that damn thing in the actual scene. So, let's get that in the scene. Boom. Here we go. Hello, Nico. Nice to have you here too, if that's how you spell your name. I could also say NYKO88. Nice to have you here. All right, let's put this like this. Oh, it doesn't matter which rotation we put, right? It's not local, meaning it's world-based. All right, that's fair enough. But we could change that. Let's go to properties. Is it in properties? Where is it exactly? Emitter spawn, emitter summary, update, self, blah, 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 once, system self. Where was it that we could switch it to local instead of once infinity self, blah, blah, scalability lifecycle. I really forgot where to put this. It was somewhere in the top. Somewhere. Local space. Look at that. We got it. Okay. Now, since it's in the local space, I get to spin you. Perfect. Now, environment artist will really, really, really love us. Let's put it up there. But the problem is I already see the gizmos here, which are not super cool. Just gonna put those up. More up. And... Alright, so let's look at it from afar. Why the heck are we getting those weird looking gizmos here? What is happening? Alright, one way to find out. Let's check the mesh renderer. Do I have a weird mesh in here? If I have the sprite on, disable the mesh renderer, what will happen? We're still getting them. So what is making these appear? What is making these appear? Aerodynamic, is that you? Is that your fault? Oh man, it's just so small I can't even see anything. Gravity, go away. Where are we? Here we are. Okay, so something with the aerodynamic and or the gravity is given this weird gizmos. Why am I getting gizmos? All right, so if I disable the view here, I will get the gizmos out. That's as simple as that. All right, that we learned a new thing. Perfect. All right, so let's save that thingy and look at this from FR. Why do we have that selected? Oh, here we have them. They are going up, dude. All right, so we need that thing to be here. How to select again? Oops. How to select the leaves? It will probably be a bad idea to select them like this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to gravity again. Oh, we don't have it on? Oh, we do actually have it on. All right, so what can I do? What can I do? Let's not randomize or randomize a bit more. Let's see how that is going to work. And I'm putting way too many particles right now. I just need to test that thing. Give me a bit of a bigger particles. So 0.5 to 1 and save. Okay. This is kind of shit to select. Come on, dude. This is so shitty to select. Ah! Okay. We're just gonna search for it then. Here it is. Okay. We'll name it. Start naming stuff. This will be our NS. So not VS. NS leaves. All right. Let's name it as that. Boom. All right. So now that we have the leaves, randomizing the spawn between meshes, I don't like how, you know, they're basically without any gravity. I am not a fan. Cool thing is with the wind force, we could probably either shoot them up, right? Now we're shooting them up. All right, so let's shoot them down. Or no, this is not shooting them down. It's the Z that actually shoots them down. There we go. So 11. Oh, they are going faster now. That is not cool. Okay, so. Oh, wait. We didn't delete that one, so that's why we got this result. Here we go. Now we're dropping down. Okay, let's see it. 22. Now, why do I use those values? 22, 1, 1. It's because I don't want to go to the 0. So this is how I manipulate the values. And also you get something unique. Yeah, I like this. So what we'll do is a random value. Who would have thought? I will go with the same here. 20 and 22. Was it 22? Minus 22 actually. And something between... I keep those on 1. You know what? Make 5. We'll do a 10, and I'll do a minus. Let's see. 5. Something between those random values, right? And let's go with a bit more extreme on this one. Now look at that. I hate how it's restarting. That's probably because I chose something that is, yeah, I mean, it is infinite, right? So what is happening here with the timeline maybe? So if it is infinite and the spawn rate, all right, let's do this to 0.5. So sometimes it will spawn, sometimes it will not spawn. I'll actually go with like a random value here. While we're at it, I'm just doing this while we're at it. And if you're curious what this does, go back to episode 2 of this series. This is basically spawning the particles 10% now, between 10% and 40%. Meaning I don't have to change the actual rate from 1 to 20. It will just be super random, like this. So it's not constantly spawning or anything. Why? Okay, so first we need to identify why the heck is it dying too quickly. One way to do it is give me a ridiculous timeline of 100 and 100, right? I'm just going with a stupid value right now. And the gravity is way too less. So, gravity, please, please go a bit faster. Like, can you please pull those thingies a bit faster here? Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to go with double the amount. And if you wonder how to do double the amount, you do star, which is on the numpad, and then 2. Now it's multiplying it by 2. That is okay-ish. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Way too many leaves. Too big. So, and it would be cool if we have them collide, right? So maybe we experiment a little bit with the collision. Excuse me. Maybe we do that. But I bet we will look into it in the course. But collisions also are super expensive, like performance-wise. At least in Unity, I realized. Woo, so much atmosphere. That's crazy. All right, so what we'll do is in the initialize particle. Oh, sorry, in the spawn rate. We're going to go with something smaller here. Let's see if it actually puts them... Oh, no, 0.05, which is 5% rate or chance for them to spawn. So 5% of them to spawn, we will get something like this, atmospherically speaking. That is kind of acceptable. Now, let's learn some more tricks. I'll be right back with you guys. So let's get those things scale over lifetime. One thing to do is in the particle update, we do mesh scale mesh size. It's probably the one that we need to play with. Right, or not right. Let me just check on it. Scale mesh size, indeed. All right, so now we need a curve in here. Something, what was the curve called? Curve vector from curve. All right, that's probably not the right one to play with. I forgot what it was called in already. All right, be right back. All right, so it's a bit similar to Unity in the sense of you put it there, then you have to add a multiply. So which a multiply, not a vector, sorry, a float multiply. So let's do multiply again. Multiply by float, which will basically multiply these 3. So if it's a 3, it becomes a huge particle, right? If it's a 0, it would not be visible. Okay. And now, because of this, we'll do a curve. Now, we do a curve, float from curve. Exactly. And now we add a new key. Like we did before, it's going to be at 0.5 seconds, going to be the biggest, or actually earlier, way earlier maybe, because this is it's going over 100 seconds, right? So we're going to have to add that. We need to put that down too. The 100 seconds are a bit too much. And yeah, so and now we're gonna select all of those, make probably an auto. So it's yeah, we need to put this down a little bit like this in this fashion. And what else do we need? Damn it. Initialize particle in the time itself. Let's go between 10 and 20. This should be good enough. Then we will, what else is there to do? Let me think. Let's see, what else can we do? Let me try to think here a little bit. Damn it. Okay, so we have 20 seconds and we got those index. I completely forgot my line of thought. Okay, initialize particle, lifetime max, lifetime minimum, and now we have the scale size element. Here oh, scale sprite size, we don't need that. Particle size, particle state, scale mesh size, that's the one. All right, and now we need the headquarter because I can't see anything. And I don't know how far I'm zoomed in. And we need to see if it's actually... Yeah, it is doing it. So far I see. And one more thing is an initialize just to debug. Where is it? Spawn rate. Let's disable this. Oh yeah, here we go. So it is stopping. That is fine. We established that that is fine. At least it's not showing it in the project. I'm gonna go back here. Is it scaling them 0 to 1 in the beginning? All right, so maybe we're missing something. I don't see the issue so far. I think it's still performing well. So I'll pause. So back to it. Let's get some stuff done. One of the main things that we need to get done here is something called curl noise. Actually, it's quite impressive. So we already have turbulence, I'm aware, but I feel like the curl noise, what he was working with, you know, on the tutorial was pretty cool. So this is the strength, meaning how often are they gonna be affected by the curl noise. So if you go with something insane like 1111, you should get them moving like this, as you see at the end. And the bigger the frequency, the bigger they will move. Hello, Holy Doodle. Nice to have you here, Holy Doodle. So nice. So right now we're getting way more movements. If I add another 0, we'll see them getting jittery more and more. But we're probably not getting that much result. I mean, that's got a bit insane with the strength here. Oh yeah, now we see them moving a lot, left and right. Damn, that's a lot of leaves. I would like it if it's less specular, honestly. Mass mode, uniset mass of 1, direct set or random. So if I put this up to 100, it's getting way more mass, right? So it should drop quicker. Let's get this out. Let's have all of them emitting. So yeah, now all of them are falling down because they have a literal high mass. So you can see that they're getting heavier. And now if I, that's something, for example, in Unity, it doesn't exist. So if I do a mass of 2, now they're between 2 and 1. You see now the curl noise is doing a lot of weird stuff. So let's do 0.5 to 2. Actually, 2 is way too much for a leaf. Let's do 1.5. Yeah, the curl. Oh, did we disable curl noise? Oh, curl noise force. Let's disable it. And now they should do less of these weirdness, this jittery weirdness, and we will re-add it again. I just wanted to see how it works, right? So right now we see, and damn, these are way too much, dude. So double click on the motes, and we'll go to the materials of those motes, basically. One of them is this, and sprite render. I will double click on this instance and go with a opacity control of 1, and even maybe 0.8, because this is way too much modes. Okay, back to the actual leaves here. Let's enable our curl noise force. Let us have way less of this and like 50 of this, which is the frequency. How often is it jittering, right? And last but not least, I would like it to blow in to the camera a bit quicker. So let's go back to perspective. Well, basically, technically, but what we need is the wind. Wind force. Please blow. Which one? Is it this one? If I put this to 3,000, it's blowing directly. Yeah, that's the one that we need. So we're gonna go with 30 and 20. So now we will get there hopefully quicker to the camera. Exactly. And I would like a let's see. It's pretty cool, I would say. I would say it's a pretty good result so far. Maybe a bit more curl noise force here and there, you know. Let's do a 211. Let's restart it. So now we're getting a bit more force. It is randomizing a little more. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot, honestly. I'll keep it like this. Yeah, the probability will be back, and we will go back to our cinematic viewport. Uh-oh. Oh, we were in... Okay, cinematic... Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. All right. Let's make this a little bigger. Here we go. The motes are still going insane with their opacity here. Go with 0.2 here. 0.3 maybe. Yeah, and the reflection on those leaves, not a huge fan. It's too white. Maybe there's a fix for it, but we're not gonna fix that today. Okay, so we have this one. Probability is a bit too less now. Let's do a 0.3. Let's go with maybe even more mass, honestly. I want them to fall a bit quicker. Mass is... Where did we put the mass? It's in the rate or in the initialize? Initialize. And rate, mass distribution, transform. Here we go. This one. Attributes, mesh attributes. Dude, where is it? Mass, mass, mass. Yeah, here it is. 2. Let's see how it's gonna react now. I still want to go with bigger leaves, honestly, because I feel like the trees up there are not supporting so much. And I would even go with smaller leaves, honestly. Like, even smaller. So, what do we have here? Random uniform. That is a problem. I don't want random uniform. I want random non-uniform. But that's a problem, right? Or am I getting this wrong here? Non-uniform. Okay. That means something different in Unreal, obviously. Okay, we're gonna go with 1 to 2. Or even 0.5 to 2. Don't want them to be huge. Alright, let's play that. I want the leaves to be small, actually. Alright, we're getting there. They're spinning. They look good. They are actually having different meshes. I like that fact, too. Some of them are just keeping on going there. We need more mass on that. So let's control that a little bit. Spawn, where is it? The mass initialize particle. And we need the mass to be starting at 1, honestly, because 0.5 is just not doing anything. And we need all of them to fall. I don't want any of them to just keep going, right? They do have gravity. They do have mass. All right, so now the probability needs to go a little higher. This is nothing, basically. 0.1. Let's do 5% to 50% of emission. And let's look at them falling. Perfect. This is giving atmosphere to the scene. Yep, I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So we're going to do one last, we're going to watch the last 2 minutes of the course, and then we're going to close this chapter for today. All right. So one minor adjustment here. That is the actual probability. It's way too much. So I'm going to go back to 20%. And for the size, we will also reduce that. And that will be the last thing I promised to actually change here. And then we'll do a closing thoughts, basically. How to make a full screen out of something in Unreal. I still don't know that. Is it F11? I should check that out later. Scale. Okay, this is way too much. We're going to go with 0.5 as max and 0.2 as minimum. And we'll look at it. Because, if you look at those leaves that it's generating from, they're not that big on the right? They are not that big. So let's see what we can do. I'm just going to look at it a bit differently here. Maybe something like this. I'm not afraid to change the perspective that we've been given here a little bit. Just because I like to experiment with different compositions. Yeah, so this is the effect from today. It's barely visible right now. I'm thinking about giving it more visibility before I close. Let's go crazy a little bit. We're gonna go crazy here, guys. So let's go spawn rate again and remove the probability, just so we see the actual effect that we worked on. And we do closing thoughts. Okay, so we got told that we should look at the effect, examine it after we're done with it, and then do the last adjustments from there on. Now this is looking a bit like a snow effect because of how small they are, which is the last thing I've done, and I said it's the last thing. The thing is, you're never satisfied. You'll still have to come here and adjust things every now and then, and check it out again. So I do think something between 0.5 and 0.7 should be good to go here, between the size basically. And the probability, of course, needs to go down. I just wanted to show the effect. I hate how low the frames are, but I can't help it. That's my PC. All right, everybody. Thank you a lot for joining. Yeah, this is the last results. And next recording is going to be about fire. All right. Have a good day. And I see you in the next one. Bye-bye.